Hey Rachel, how's things? How are you?
Hi, great. How are you doing?
We're good.
Oh,
We're in Ireland and it's raining, but look, we're always used to the rain.
Yeah, of course. You know what? We just moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and it has been rainy virtually the whole last week. So I'm right there with you.
We love it. We love it. Now, Rachel, we have to talk about the early days first before we get to the new days. Obviously, you have a massive background when it comes to wrestling. We know your father is iconic when it comes to wrestling. What's your first memories when it comes to wrestling as a young child?
So my first memory, it's actually kind of peculiar. I think it was early 2003-ish. We went on a family trip to Chicago, and my dad and Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, did like an indie show appearance there. And this was my first time. We didn't grow up being able to watch wrestling. My dad kept that totally separate from family life. And so this was like just a bizarre experience as a young kid when you've never seen this before. And I just remember making a sign for my Uncle Hawk, and we were in the front row. And I'm just viciously like waving this sign, and one of their opponents came out and ripped the sign in half, and I was heartbroken. As a kid, it's jarring. And I will never forget, after the show, my Uncle Hawk brought me over to the locker room doors, and he's like, "Hey, somebody wants to apologize to you." And it was the guy that ripped my sign. And so it's a very cute story now, but at the time it was kind of traumatic. So those are my first experiences with wrestling.
I love it. And what age do you reckon you were when you said to yourself, right, I want to wrestle?
Probably 15 or 16. Yeah, and it was completely against my dad's wishes. And so when I told him, "Hey, Dad, I think this is what I want to do. It's everything I love. It's everything I'm good at, kind of, bottled up into this beautiful package that we all love, right?" And he just said, "Absolutely not. You're way too smart for that. You need to go to college and, take one of these scholarship offers and go and get your education." And I did that, but now I'm a professional wrestler. So we both won.
I love it. No, we're lucky to have you. We have to speak about Lance Storm. Obviously, Lance is he's one of the most iconic wrestlers of all time. What was it like to work with Lance and obviously learn the ropes?
Yeah, it was great. I spent 6 months up in Calgary. I did his 3-month training course, and then I stayed another 3 just to kind of help out with the next class and, keep learning from him, because you can never stop learning from him. He's a genius. And so I had just an incredible time up there. And, I have like a second family up in Calgary, just really good people that I met and helped me that, I'll keep that relationship going for life. So I'm very lucky I got trained so well. And, he truly takes that time with his students to explain how to do things, but also why to do things. And I think that, will stick with me for my entire career.
Love it. Now I'm going to pass you to my co-presenter, Phil, who has an awesome hairstyle, by the way, Phil. I'm loving it.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it took a long time to grow this. Usually my hair doesn't grow very fast at all. 18 months this is taking, and it's only this long.
We're the opposite. Mine grows so fast, it's frustrating at times, where I'm like, just chop a couple inches off.
I wish mine would grow that quick.
Yeah, next time I get a haircut, I'll just send you over when I chop off.
And I can glue it on and super glue it and
yeah.
everywhere. But no, I just wanted to ask you, because it's iconic that your dad was famous for tag team, for being Road Warriors and stuff, but you actually winning the Impact tag titles must have been such a kind of experience for you. I just wanted your thoughts on winning it with Jordynne.
Yeah, it was very special. I mean, just the night in general for me was very special, because it's been a really hard last 2 years for me. And so to come back and finally be put in a position to really just be given the ball and run with it, I was just overwhelmed with gratitude for that moment. And then I have so much respect and love for Jordynne. So that was, just added goodness. But then like the cherry on top was Jazz being there. And it will forever be one of the best nights of my entire career. And, for her to be out there and kind of bring us together in the story and stuff was very, very special. She is someone I adored watching, but then also about maybe a year into my career, I actually got to wrestle Jazz in a singles match. And afterwards, just in the locker room, she was so kind to me, and she did not have to be. I was a nobody. She's Jazz, and her kindness, just, I'll never forget that. I'll carry that with me, forever. And so for her to be there as well was great. It was funny. I didn't really think about, my dad and the connection to tag team wrestling and stuff until maybe later in the night. And I'll admit, I was taking a selfie with the belt. And I can post this picture. I'm not ashamed of it. But I had, the belt draped over one shoulder. And then I had a shirt on, and on this half of the shirt was my Uncle Hawk. And so I looked at the picture after I took it, and I really got emotional. And I just was in some hallway at Skyway Studios, and I just started crying because it just felt like he was there with me. And, this is a cool way to kind of carry on that tag team legacy. So it was very special.
Brilliant. Also, as well, I just wanted to ask you, because in the next few months, there's going to be a lot of free agents coming up with like Chelsea Green and Mickie James and even the IIconics. Is there anyone you'd like to kind of get it on with in the ring once they kind of...
So out of the girls you just mentioned, I would jump at the chance to do anything with Mickie James. I just think that would be, much like the Jazz situation. I love that era of women that really proved that they can go, and she is one of them. And so I would love that chance to work with her and learn from her as well. So she would be my top pick out of that crew. But then, like you said, I'm in a tag team right now. So if you want to send Peyton and Billy over, Jordynne and I, we would welcome that.
I love it. I love it. Rachel, I have to ask you quickly, what's it like being part of Impact Wrestling? It's huge right here in Europe. It's absolutely massive. How fun has it been part of Impact and the awesome team?
It's incredible. And when, I took almost a full year off just with the pandemic and to keep my family and friends safe. And so when I finally had some deep conversations with Scott and Gail, just hearing about the vibe there, it's one thing to watch it on, Impact Plus, which is where you guys would be watching it. But, here on Access TV, it's another to experience that in person. And I just fell in love with the vibe, right? And how positive and just how they want you to be you, right? And go out and do what you do best. And I think that translates through the TV. And you can see that people are enjoying what they're doing, and they get to be creative and, kind of push the envelope on things they want to. And, so many girls especially have gone there and delivered in, big matches. Deonna's a great example of that. And Jordan's a great example of that, right? I'm my partner. And so it's a privilege to be a part of that division. And that was really the big selling point for me was, I know those girls, I respect them. I love that they get to have freedom and truly put their heart into what they do. And I think Impact fans get to see that every week.
Definitely. Now, you obviously have one eye on Deonna. Obviously, there's people on about Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, all these great names that come from Impact. Is that something you might look at down the road, perhaps going after Deonna or whoever is the women's champ?
Absolutely. Whoever it is. Right now it is Deonna. She's two-time Knockouts champion, and she's got a tight grasp on that bugger. So it would be a challenge, but one I would welcome. Her and I have had very, very similar career paths. I mean, from start until, current day. And so I respect her as a performer. I think our styles would mesh in a very, very cool way. And I would love to go toe to toe with her and see how I stack up.
I love it. I have to mention, last of all the European fans out there, we're all looking forward to Impact, finally coming back to the UK and Ireland. Is that something that you will look forward to when it does happen?
I can't tell you guys enough how much everybody misses fans, but specifically for me to get over there and see you guys, I have never been to the UK or Ireland before. And so I even, pre-pandemic was just clamoring for that chance to get over there. The passion that the fans have, you guys have witnessed it firsthand, is nearly unmatchable. And so I hope that sooner rather than later, all of us from Impact get to come over there. And, you know, it's good to watch it on Impact Plus, but we want to see you in person. And so I can't wait for that day.
Love it. Phil, any more questions, bro?
You've a big match at the weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Against Fire and Flavor. I just kind of get your thoughts on it and kind of going back into the ring again with the two, Kira and from Fire and Flavor.
Yeah, I think that this Saturday at Under Siege, which you guys can watch on Impact Plus over there, I think we'll see kind of a different side of them. At least that's what I'm anticipating, just because they now know what Jordynne and I are capable of. And so I think that they'll bring the fire, lack of a better term, because I know they want these titles back. But I truly feel that Jordynne and I are going to hit a stride, and this is the start of something special with us, and that will definitely be on display on Saturday.
Love it. Love it. We can't wait for Under Siege this weekend. We'll have all the links up on our page.